This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil with Invest Like a Pro, and today we're going to talk about part 2 of the core of my strategy, all right, which is the momentum part, all right? So last week, pretty much talked about how to use two time frames together using trend and the moving averages. But today I want to talk about the conditions we're looking for, generally speaking, especially on a pullback trade, what the momentum should look like on the two different time frames. So let's go ahead and get into that. Now, just briefly, I am adding an additional course that will be added sometime over the next month, most likely. And when I do that, I am going to change the price of the overall bundle. So just so you're aware of that. Also, if you are interested in just starting to learn more about my approach, I would suggest starting with the book. It is being offered at a discount right now. I'm not sure if that price is going to change, but for now it is at a discount. All right, let's move on to learning more about multiple time frames. Okay, so now I have now up, Service Now, and what I'm going to do is, so I've got a weekly on the right and a daily on the left here, and I want to focus in on this pullback. And again, we'll just do a quick review from last week. So what we're looking for is a trend where the 18 is above the 40, both lines are rising. You know, prefer to have them have sort of a parallel look to them and get a pullback on this time frame. Now, on the lower time frame, this pullback here is this pullback on this time frame. All right. And what we're looking for on this time frame is where the 18 is below the 40. So we have the opposing pattern going on. So we're basically looking at this as a potential decline, and if it fails, we want to get long and get back in with this time frame. All right, I would suggest going back and reviewing last week's video. I do think that will help you, and it's always good to go back through and look at examples anyway. Actually, just briefly, let me just say that could use your help growing the channel. Love to get, if you could hit the like button. If you're enjoying this content, I'd truly appreciate it. All right, so let's look at what we're going to talk about this week is the momentum conditions. So we hit a new high here, right here, all right? And then we form an ABC correction, all right? Now this ABC, we've got confirmation before we start. MACD hits a new high and the ADX shows a nice strong reading up around 40. Green DI is in command. The buyers are green, or the green, the plus DI. And when they're on top, that shows that they are in command. They're driving the ADX to the upside. Now, this line going away. So it's really, this blue line goes up when these lines separate. So the farther these lines go apart, the faster this line is going to rise and the higher it's going to go. So what we're looking for is on the higher time frame before the pullback, we want confirmation on the up leg. We want confirmation that we have strength to the upside. And in this case, we do have that confirmation. We've got the moving averages, which is a nice comforting thing to know that we've got the trend to the upside. And when they're pretty close to being parallel, then we know that's bullish as well. But we also want to take a peek and make sure we get confirming evidence on the higher time frame of the momentum conditions going into a new high. All right, now we start the corrective pattern, and when we come down, if you notice here, we get pretty strong selling on this decline. All right, so this is based on the red. You see how the red are controlling this? The red is on top and the green is going down, and that's what's causing this line to go up. So now ADX is saying the sellers are actually pretty strong on this leg versus the strength of the buyers to the upside. So we had a lot of strength to the upside. So now what we're looking for is for the sellers to dissipate. We want them to show signs that maybe they're going away. That is not happening here. So when we're here, we are still not very interested because there's too much strength to the downside. You see how far last time I talked, in fact, on last week's Stock Talk, I talked about the zero line reversal and how it can come in different forms. But this is a clear break of the zero line here. And so, you know, in this instance, we want to wait for more evidence, and we go up and then we come back down. We go in the zone on this time frame and we come back down and we undercut this barely. But look at what happens when we go to a new low. You see how this goes to a new low and the ADX doesn't climb. So the ADX was way strong up here on this decline. But then when we make a new low here, the ADX can't even get above 25. So now we're on the lookout for reversal. We get it in the form of a gap up and then a little pullback and test of the 18 and coming back up through the 40 here. So we have our evidence on this time frame, all right, using the momentum conditions to support our theory, which is trend is strong on this time frame. Now we're looking for less strength out of the sellers. We want the sellers to be weak so that we can look for a turn to the upside. All right. This is a pretty complex bottom. A lot of times it'll be really, really easy because we'll get a zero line reversal and we'll have no strength in the sellers whatsoever. But you need to be able to see these patterns as well. And that's where you get a strong decline the first time around, you rally up, next time down, not so strong. That's when we're looking for a move to the upside. All right. So, you're going to have to use these strategies in order to improve your timing and also to recognize which are the best stocks. So if we've got really good patterns that are showing a lot of strength to the upside based on the momentum to the upside, we then want to go and look for the stocks that are actually showing no momentum to the downside. So we have to wait for that sometimes. In this case, you have to wait. And I wanted to just show some example, a different type of example where when we have strength to the downside, you got to let that dissipate before you're ready to get long. So we don't really want to get long here because there was too much strength in the sellers. But after you drop again, you can start to look pretty strongly. And now we know we're probably getting ready to start a new trend on this time frame. So it's a matter of using the two time frames together, starting with price and the moving averages. So essentially what we're looking for is this on the higher time frame, and then we want this on the lower time frame where the 18 crosses down below the 40. Right, while the 18 on the higher time frame is above the 40 and both lines are rising. So once we have that, we then want to go and look at the momentum conditions. On the way up, do we have good momentum conditions? If we don't, if either one of those aren't confirming, especially right now because there's a lot of attractive patterns, if you don't have this confirmation, then I think you want to move on and look for something else. Try and find the stocks that meet these criteria. And then on the decline phase, we want to make sure that the momentum has died out, or in this case, we've tested support and formed a divergence on both MACD and ADX. All right. Start looking for use these two videos that I just went through over the last week to really help you. And then go identify these patterns over and over and over again. They will show up in every single time frame. Every time frame. I see them on 1 minute charts and I see them on monthly charts. All right. Go start looking for them, and I think you'll be surprised at how much it improves your timing.